Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Patton, www.wavesofprofit.com. And we've had some changes occur to the software. We wanted to do a special hangout and share it with you so that rather than just sort of telling you or saying, do this, do this, do this, like we're going to walk you through some of the changes. And I think before we do, we need to kind of explain what's happened. We've been using one particular data feed for the past year or 2 years. I'm not sure how long it goes back. And what we were discovering was the feed was degrading. And what that means is the price was 100, but the feed was only showing you it was 99 or 101. So when you go into those situations and you go into your broker to make the trade, it's like, well, hold on a second, it's not anywhere near where I thought it was. And that causes obviously some problems. The other thing that we noticed was that sometimes the feed was just slow. So it hit 100, but it was like 30 seconds after it actually hit 100. So what good is that? And in trading options, when you're getting in, getting out fast, if something's turned and you don't know for 30 seconds, it can be an issue, or a minute, or whatever it was. So what we wanted to do was get a more robust feed to use. And we've been telling people all along, Interactive Brokers is probably the best broker to use. They're a wholesale brokerage firm, if I can put it that way. I'm not sure, but the cost of making your trades is significantly less than, well, your bank or a lot of other places that you could go. So we really recommend that you use Interactive Brokers. We don't get anything for telling you that. We just think it's a good fit. And we have to use a feed, and we decided that was the feed. Unfortunately, we can't make it so that every Tom, Dick, and Harry feed comes in and then try to support it, because the other thing that happens is things get updated. So the Interactive Broker guy goes in, the tech guy, and he does some stuff to the feed, and all of a sudden it's broken. It doesn't work with Waves of Profit software. So Alan goes in and he fiddles and he fixes it, and then it works. Well, that's okay if it's one feed, but if we've got 300 different feeds coming in, not really that good an idea. Now we're going to try to maybe expand it a little bit, but we're really strongly suggesting that you just go with Interactive Brokers and set up your account there. You need a minimum $10,000, I believe, to open an account in the United States if you're American at Interactive Brokers. Not sure what that is in other countries. In Canada, it's a little bit less. If you have one of our tax-free savings accounts, I think you can get in for 5. But this isn't really something where if you've got a mortgage or take your last penny out of your retirement fund to do the options trading, like you shouldn't be doing that, right? This should not be money that if you do something crazy and you lose it, that you're devastated. This should be money that is put towards an investment, put towards your future, but it shouldn't be, to put food on the table, the money you would use to put food on the table or to pay your mortgage or to pay off your house or those sort of things. You need to come at this from a reasonable perspective, I think would be a safe way of putting it. So I asked Alan if he would take a few minutes out of his busy day to kind of go through how do you connect this Interactive Brokerage feed to the Waves of Profit software. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Alan.
Hey, Scott, how are you?
I'm doing good.
And I'm actually, my life's not so busy anymore now that the system's done and people are happy. And we had a long beta period. And, I love this comment I got today, which was, it says, thinking you should have made it harder. So, obviously he's making money and he's happy and it's easy. Anyways, as you said about the data feed, that is a key item, because really all we've got is a price, and then we're going to make a decision. Well, if the price is wrong, the decision might be wrong too. So data feeds, this is our 4th one that we've been on, and it's actually the cleanest, fastest, best. And I know they'll be supported in the long run because IB for short, Interactive Brokers, they are a wholesaler. Banks actually use them, and then they charge you retail price. And as a client, you can come in and sign up with them as just a regular retail, and they don't beat you up for it. and really good prices compared to every other broker I've ever seen. Good fill rates, good everything. And they actually do answer the phone at any hour of the day. They're pretty fast with all kinds of things. So here we are. We say we want to go replay. You click that button and it uses our data. And there's just really nothing to do except click that and it starts up. And it says, well, what do you want to do? And it gives you a list of days and you click on stuff and away you go. And you're going back years, many years. But if you want to launch the live, you need the current prices. They have to come in. So there's a couple things you have to do. One is you got to go to your Interactive Brokers account. And so I'm going to just hide the account number. It's actually my daughter's account in this case. And in there, settings, global settings, you can go in there and then under the API right there, you click and it looks like that. You click on settings and you get into this window. And this is all you have to do is you say, I want to enable the ActiveX socket clients. This is just tech talk to say that the computer is going to talk to another piece of software and it's going to go ahead and exchange information, and you're okay with that. And that's what you want. And you can also, this is optional where it says read-only API. If you click the question, it tells you what it is. That means, I just hovered over it, you can not worry about the fact that it's going to go place orders on your account and all that. If you say read only, there's no way it's going to do anything. So you've got your firewall in a sense to keep people, and we don't do any of that. We're talking about that in the future. But anyways, for now, if you're worried, just click that too. You don't want this enable DDE. It just asks you a bunch of weird questions. So the only thing you have to turn on that's not already on is enable ActiveX. That's this one. Let me just draw the little lines around it. So there we go. So there's this guy. And then there is this you leave alone. That number should be there. You don't have to change it. Just leave it. This is optional. I recommend it. It doesn't hurt, doesn't do anything. Now the last one is if you've got, and this is the interesting part where we're talking about today, is if you actually have IB on one computer, this trader workstation, and you've got charting software on a different computer, this is where you would play around with these settings. Now this version is what's called Build 950, and you can find that out by just going to the help about when you've loaded your trader workstation, and it'll actually tell you the build number right in this business up here. Sorry, I'm trying to get it on screen here. Anyways, it's in that information. So when you download the software, and that's what I recommend is download it on your Windows PC or your Mac and run it from there. It's a Java app. It runs very nicely on both. And then you've got good speed and good data and good everything. So here we go. We checked off two things. But here's where we're going to control whether this charting program over here can talk to the IB over here. And that's this business. If you're all on the same machine and you don't want to answer a question that it comes up with, because it will ask you the question, is do you want to allow blah, blah, blah to connect to your IB? And you can say yes, or you can just check this and say, when it's on my own machine, I'm going to say, go ahead and do it. But if I have a remote machine, you have to put in some connections here that if you want to not answer the question, well, do you want this thing to connect in, la, la. So these are some of the computers I have in my home. This is, the IP addresses of them. That's this machine. That's the fancy address for this. The point is here, if I don't want to say yes all the time to this, well, do you want this thing to connect? Yes, I do. I want you to be pre-authorized on any of these addresses, which is in my home network. So I just added them so we can go, here's another one. We'll just create one. 192.168.0.151. And now you're going to be saying, where did you get that number from? We're going to get to that. So if you've got all those crazy numbers plopped in, then when this machine over, my one computer wants to talk to this IB, it'll just automatically connect me in and I get data. So that's kind of the long way to explain it, but I have to go through the details. The short answer is you need to check ActiveX, and you can check allow connections if it's just on one computer. If you're on multiple computers, you want to uncheck that as a convenience, so you don't always have to click the yes button that I allow it. You can pre-add in a bunch of addresses in your home network. So now that you've got that, where did you get those crazy IP addresses? Well, we added something in the program. That's this thing here. It doesn't work perfectly on all machines. We just added it as a convenience for you. We're not making it into some super tool. So this is scanning my computer to say that I've got, that's me, 192.168.0.156. Now, if you're a Windows person, you can go run this program called command, and it'll tell you, if you type in ipconfig, it'll actually, so CMD, there's lots of stuff on the internet for that, but we added this as a convenience. If you go CMD, which is command, and then type in ipconfig, IPCONFIG, it'll give you this address in a whole nasty looking screen. So here you just click on that and it says, oh, I am 156. Now the other thing that this does is, as convenience, it tells me that my computer can see these other computers in my own network. So what are all these things? Well, I bet you one of these is probably like my other charting program computer or my IB computer. If it isn't this one. So you can play with this. It's really simple stuff. If you're not a tech head, you're going to need a little help from somebody. We don't do that. The internet's great. It tells you lots of stuff, but we give you the tool. You go click on that. It says, okay, that's me. So I got to make sure that here we go. I'm going to bring up the global config. See, I'm right here. See, I added that because that's me to here. So if this was running on a different machine and it's already pre-authorized, a trusted host, I don't have to, oh, I forgot to click the yes button, and then it times out and does strange things and you got to start again. It's not like it's bad. It just makes it super fast and easy. So that's what we did.
Alan, I have one question for you, and that is, will these IP addresses change? Like if I rebooted my computer or went away and came back?
Most computers for the last 10 years use dynamic addressing, and you're absolutely right. That's what that means, is that it assigns it from your local home network, or if you only have one computer and you're connected on the internet, quite often it'll give you a new address, but it doesn't change that often. They call it a lease.
That's right. So
yes.
from time to time, it may be that the IP address that is my IP address now, not my IP address in the future.
Right, and that's why I added the whole block of 151, 152. It only takes a few seconds to add one in, and I'm done. I don't know which. That could be my cell phone, actually. That's just because I got Wi-Fi at home, and so it says, "Oh, you want the internet? Here's your address."
So will we all have 192.168.0 point something?
Yeah, most people do. That's a standard for home networks. The other one is .1 in this instead of .0. A lot of people have .1. So this other 0.1 is that's the gateway thing that reaches out to the internet that gives me these addresses. It says, oh, you want to join up? Great. Here's your address, and it assigns it. And so this is the hardware tag for the, if you want all the details, but it's just the physical address. Inside your network card, there's a unique ID.
Great. So the key to this is to make sure that you bookmark or something, this particular video, so that if you get in and you realize like, oh, it's not connecting for some reason, you need to go and check your IP address in your feed to make sure that it connects, because it will change from time to time. It's dynamic. That's
right. And if you didn't pre-authorize, it's going to come up with this yes/no question that says, oh, do you want to allow? And you just click yes. So I've given you the convenience, but you don't have to do all that.
No.
So let's get to the fun part, which is that, Okay, I don't care. I'll click yes on my IB platform every time. Okay, great. So the thing is, if it's not on your computer, and that's what this icon brings up for you, you can get in there and set it up. So I've set it up to talk to a different computer here, and I'm gonna go launch that in a second here. I'm just shutting it down on my local machine. I feel like Julia Child's here, for those who remember. It's like, well, in this other oven, we've got
Yeah.
I had to watch that as a kid because, you know, my mom liked cooking. So anyways, while I'm just launching it on this other machine, this is how you set it up to say, well, I'm on my computer and I want to go talk to the other computer. If you don't, how it normally comes is it comes like this. Just, you don't have to even click into this. You just say, great, launch my day trader and I'm off. So if everything's all on one computer, you don't have to do any of this. All you do is you just click the day trade and you're off and running. Click yes on your IB and you're done. And it's all fine. But this video is really intended for people that want to have things on one machine and things on another machine. So here you'd say, you'd actually start that, you go here and you do whatever changes you want, like to your IP, and you hit save. And the next time it starts, it'll remember this and you don't have to click it again. It'll just go over and get that other thing. But if you don't have the address, like for example, as you said, it changes all the time. Well, then you got to go in and go on the other machine, find out the address, and then say, well, where is it? And then go in here and change this business. So I'm just firing up the IB on a different computer. We've thoroughly tested this, by the way. The only other problem is on some computers, they have personal firewalls for viruses and all that sort of thing. I use ESET. I really like it. But if I wanted to connect to this computer that I'm using, I have to disable the firewall for a minute. It makes the connection, and then the firewall can come back on, and nobody else gets in. Now, I'm at home. Nobody's going to be, you know, getting in on my machine at home anyways. I'm behind a firewall, and then this is a firewall on the computer. So, yeah, I do that because, yeah, just don't want any troubles, and it's easy to run. So here we are. I'm going to just make sure that everything's started up on this other computer. I can't share the screen with you at this moment, but we're just going to go have a look. And I think that's ready to go. So because, here we go, I'm going to hit the connect. What you can't see is that the broker program is talking, and I'll show you what it looks like as a diagnostics. So here we go. It's connecting in. I'm already getting data from this other computer. So here we go. This is today's data. It filled that in. It's filling in all the other data in the background. And that's it. It's a really fast, really great feed. Getting started, it takes a little while to fill in everything. So if you're starting in the middle of the day, IB puts a restriction on how much data we can get. That means backfilling all this business before I got in, but it does do it, and it's a really good feed. I've worked with many data feeds, and these guys are doing an awesome job. So here's that's really about it for today. It's just, you just have to, if you want to work with multiple machines, you got a little bit extra work. If you don't, you just hit the green button and you're done.
Beautiful. So what we've done is we have got a more accurate, faster, more stable feed with the Waves of Profit software. We set it up so that if you want to use multiple machines, you can do that. And we try to make it as easy as we can, which of course with this high-tech and 500,000 lines of code, so not as easy as it sounds. And hopefully you'll find this is a good improvement for your trading. And certainly the people that we've been beta testing with love it. And I think it's also the one thing I also want to say is things are constantly changing. They're constantly in a flux. The superstar of yesterday is the bum of today, sort of thing. You just have to look at any musician or sports figure who was, wow, so cool. And then now it's like, I'm not so sure. He didn't cheat his way to the top. So, and we just say that because we've got it as best as we can have it today. And tomorrow the IB feed may change and may not be so good, in which case we're going to go find a good feed and we're going to use that feed instead. So this is not to say that it's this will ever end. We fully expect change to continue and to continue and to continue. And like Alan mentioned, this is the 4th feed that we've used with the program in the last 10 years. So we don't think for a second it'll be the last one we use, because things do change, and we're just here to adapt to the change and take advantage of it as best we can. So with that, Alan, unless you have any closing remarks.
Nope. It actually is pretty easy. I know we'll help you. So if this looked too complicated and he says, well, yuck, we'll walk you through it.
Exactly. Awesome. Okay, thanks for joining us, everybody. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, subscribe to all of our episodes. We're going to be coming on with some review of trades of the last week pretty soon. And over to look at the bottom, by the way, that's where we've got our courses. You can learn what options are. You can learn how the software works and a couple strategies. And then we've got a more advanced strategy. And we also are coming out with a course or two on the mind side of trading. Like, you shouldn't have gone in then, or you should have got in sooner, or get out later, or all these things. Why are you not doing it? Well, that's part of the self-sabotage that goes on, and we're going to help you get rid of that as well. So appreciate having you along with this exciting ride with us, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.